Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're going to share our top 20 mistakes that you need to avoid making at Disneyland. So let's get going. And of course, tip number one, if you have been watching my videos for any number of time, this will be no surprise to you, but mistake number one, I should say, is not showing up at rope drop. Now, I want to show you this, okay? Because it's important. There's a reason that I say it. If you are not here at rope drop, you are missing out. It is 9 o'clock. The park has been open for an hour already. An hour. And look at this. Look, nobody here at Buzz. Later today, this line will be at minimum 45 minutes, potentially even higher. Look over here at Star Tours. 5 minutes, nobody in line. This is what we're talking about. Space Mountain, 25 minutes. Jungle Cruise, 5 minutes. Pirates of the Caribbean, 5 minutes. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, 15 minutes. This is an hour after the park is open. Some other high-powered rides. Rise the Resistance is only at a 40-minute wait. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is at a 5-minute wait. Again, if you haven't gotten the point yet, if you're not here at rope drop, you're missing out. Mistake number two is rope dropping Rise of the Resistance. It is currently 9:10 a.m. and it is a 40-minute wait, which is about as low as it is going to get all day long. This is the best time to ride. You see these people basically walking straight through the line, walking straight into the caves. There's no backup. There's no line. It's not sticking out of the entrance over here. It's not wrapping through Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I mean, this is really the best time to ride it. In fact, the whole reason to show up at rope drop is so that you can get as many rides done as possible with the low to minimum wait times. And if you show up and you waste the entire first hour on Rise the Resistance, because that's what you would do. I mean, take a look at this line here first thing this morning. Even if the ride isn't broken first thing, which, I mean, usually it is, it has a delayed start. It's not like ready to go at 8 o'clock. It's sometimes about 8:15 before they open. Today, they actually opened right at 8 o'clock, which was great, of course. But even if you were at the front of the line, you are talking about a minimum of 20 minutes, even if you were at the front of the line, just because of the pre-shows. 25, really, because the ride's 5 minutes. Of course, if you were at the back of the line, then you need to add, maybe another 20 to 30 minutes. So you're talking about not getting out of the ride until close to 9 o'clock. You've missed that entire best first hour. So what's the strategy to do here? Well, of course, use the first hour to ride other things and then come here at 9, because the rope drop rush, the crowd, has really eased off by then, and at 9 o'clock is when it's its lowest throughout the entire day. Now, another opportunity to ride it is right before it closes at the end of the night. When we rode it at 7:30, it was a 35-minute wait, and that was back in, I think, the beginning of March. So, yeah, those are two other times that you can consider Rise of the Resistance. Just don't rope drop it. Now, if you're not going to come at rope drop, which is when the park opens, you need to at least stay until park close. So mistake number three is not staying until park close, because the second best time of the day, in my opinion, to ride rides, actually it might even be the first most best time of the day. I just generally don't like to be out here at night, so take it for what you will. Is to stay until the park closes. Now, when that closes at 10 o'clock, that's pretty manageable, but sometimes the park closes at midnight, and really the best time to ride is between 11 and midnight. There's hardly anybody in the park. And if you can make it until then, you definitely need to stay until park close. Now, there's another benefit to that, and what I mean is just seeing Disneyland in the dark. There's something special about Disneyland at night, especially here in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And through the summertime, if it doesn't get dark until 8:30 and you're bugging out before then, you're not even getting to see it, of course. And so staying until park close has a couple of benefits, but the primary one being the lower wait times, especially after 10 p.m. When the park closes at 10, like I said, a little bit harder. Sometimes it closes at 8, and we'll tell you about why in a little bit later on in the video. Now, if you are a particular breed of crazy, there's another thing that you can do, and that's stay rope drop to park close. And the mistake here is not taking an afternoon break. If you are going to show up when the park opens at 8 a.m. and you are going to stay until it closes, and it's one of those times that it closes at midnight, you are going to be tired because you're not going to get a whole lot of sleep, especially considering that the afternoon is the busiest time of the day. Like, you really don't want to be in the park from 2 to 4. Why? Well, during the summertime, it's just hot. And number 2, well, because it's also the most crowded. So what you need to do is take an afternoon break, go back to the hotel, rest, relax, take a nap if you need to. Even if you're just sitting on a lounge chair by the pool, just, something that where you're not on your feet and you're not rushing about, you need to just sit and rest and relax. That will help you get a second wind to be able to conquer park close in addition to rope drop. Mistake number 5 is not checking the Disneyland events and refurb calendar. This is important because if you want to go to fireworks and you're coming on a day where there are no fireworks, you're going to be disappointed. If you want to stay until park close, but you're coming on a day where there's a Star Wars night going on, which today is one of those days. That's why we're hanging out here in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's going to close tonight at 8 p.m. Also, Disneyland posts their refurbishment calendar on a 6-week rotating basis. So once your trip is within 6 weeks of coming, you can take a look at the refurb calendar to see what rides are going to be closed, what restaurants are going to be closed, and things like that across the park. So that, again, you're not surprised when you get here and you find out, bummer, Haunted Mansion is closed for a 8-month-long refurbishment. That one's probably no surprise to people, but you might be surprised to find out that the Disneyland monorail will be closed on Wednesday, May 8th. And if that's the only day you come and you really wanted to ride the monorail, bummer, I'm sorry. Our next mistake is not purchasing Genie Plus. It really is a mistake to forego buying it. I know you might want to save some money, but if you are going to be here for 1 or 2 days, I highly recommend that you purchase it. Now, if you're going to be here for 5, you probably don't need it. You'll have a little bit slower of a going and things like that with some longer standby wait times, but I highly recommend Genie Plus. Look, the bottom line is this. If you don't buy Genie Plus, you're going to be waiting in the standby line and you are going to see Disney sending the Lightning Lane people through at a rate much, much faster than your line, and you're just going to get frustrated. And that frustration leads to you being a little grumpy, and that grumpiness leads to not having a good time. So if you just really want to have the best stress-free Disneyland trip, buy Genie Plus. The next mistake that everybody is making is paying full price to come to Disneyland. There is absolutely no reason for you to pay the full rack rate on both Disneyland's website and hotel websites. There is a solution to this, and it is called Getaway Today. We are affiliated with Getaway Today, and they're a great service that will help you book your Disneyland vacation, and they offer discounted packages that will help you save about 10% off the rack rate. So it may not be much, but I mean, it's $200 to $300, right? And that's $200 to $300 that you can put towards food, towards souvenirs. Hey, you can put it towards purchasing Genie Plus, which is the whole idea here. But there are other ways to save money at Disneyland. And if you check out my videos, I have tips, all sorts of ways that you can save money. And if you want to know just how much you are going to spend when you come to Disneyland, I got a video for that too. In fact, I've got videos for pretty much all of these mistakes here on the channel, from rope drop strategies, Genie Plus strategies, Genie Plus tutorials, all on the channel. And so I hope you check them all out. You can fall down a rabbit hole here. Ask questions. You got questions? Drop them in the comments below. I am always happy to answer them. And so, if you need some help planning your trip, I'm more than willing. Our next mistake is one you probably don't even know you're making, but you're not drinking enough water. You don't realize just how much you walk when you are here. I would say an average of about 20 to 25,000 steps a day, or the equivalent of 12 miles. And during the summer months, that's probably whenever you would think, oh yeah, I'm getting dehydrated, I'm hot, right? But on a day like today, I mean, I'm still in my jacket. It's getting a little bit warm. It's maybe like 63 degrees. I could probably take it off here soon, but you may not realize that you're getting dehydrated. So make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. But another mistake that goes with that is that you are buying too many water bottles. And did you know that you could go to a quick service place like Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe behind me, and you could get free cups of water all around the park? Now you may say, I may not want to wait in line for that, right? Well, you don't have to. Just go through the mobile order pickup window, the mobile order pickup area for Jolly Holiday. There's hardly anybody ever in line for that. walk straight up to the counter, ask for a cup of water. They usually have them there ready, already pre-filled. They just hand it to you. And yeah, you can get a free cup of water that way. I do it all day long. It saves you some dollars. Again, that's in our money savings tips video, in addition to a bunch of other money savings tips. So I really do recommend that you check that one out as well. Disneyland may be smaller than Walt Disney World, but our next mistake is not planning your day. From Main Street, USA here to Tomorrowland over that way. We've got Matterhorn and Toontown up that direction. Straight ahead through the castle on the other side is Fantasyland. Then we have Frontierland off this way, Adventureland over here, and way back in the back that you can't even see from here, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And each of these lands at Disneyland are packed chock full of food, shows, rides, and more. And if you just show up and you have absolutely no plan, and you're not a veteran, you're not like used to coming to Disneyland, you're gonna find yourself overwhelmed, not quite sure where you're going. You're gonna spend a lot of time being indecisive. What do I mean by that? Well, one of the biggest things or biggest problems is actually not pre-planning out what food or where you want to eat, because you'll spend a good 20-30 minutes with your family arguing about where you want to eat and looking at the menus because you don't know what these places have to offer. And if you want to avoid wasting that time, it's really good to pre-plan all of this stuff ahead of time. Download the Disneyland app, take a look at the different restaurants that are located around the park, peruse their menus, see what places you say, oh, I would never eat there, that's bad food. Or you would say, oh, that sounds really good, I want to make sure that I get that when I'm on my trip. So planning your trip is invaluable, and failing to plan is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. But there's another mistake that you can make, and that is planning too much. Over planning. Yes, over planning is a thing. I am an over planner, but I'm okay with that because I've come to terms with the fact that I am not going to do at least half of my plan. I just like to have a plan so that I, know, and usually my plan is like a food plan. I created the food plan because I want to know what snacks I'm most interested in eating, and I want to make sure that I don't miss one. But at the same time, I do realize that I probably, like I said, will only eat about half to maybe 60% of what is on my list. And I'm okay with that. So make sure, and I say this all the time, that your list includes a priority. That your most important things are the ones that get done first, and your least important things, if you don't get to them, then it's just okay that you didn't get around to it. Mistake number 11 is not taking advantage of mobile order. Just about every quick service restaurant around the park has the ability to mobile order food right from your phone. You can do that while you're waiting in line. You can do that from the comfort of your home. You can do that while you're on your way up, your drive up. If you're from San Diego like us, you can do that from the comfort of your hotel. Whatever you want to do, you can do it, and you can schedule it for later on in the day. Maybe it's 9 a.m. right now, and you still haven't got out of the hotel yet, but you want to schedule lunch. You can absolutely do that while you've got some downtime in your hotel. Again, I like to do it whenever we're waiting in line for rides. Mobile ordering so that you can figure out what it is that you want to eat without wasting a whole lot of time. And you could just, like I said, save some time. I love saving time. There are a few places around the park that do not offer mobile order, and actually one of them is behind me, and that is the Plaza Inn. The other one is Rancho del Zocalo restaurant in Frontierland. I'm hard-pressed to think of any others off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure everything else has mobile ordering available, at least in Disneyland Park. There's a couple over at Disney California Adventure that don't offer mobile ordering. However, again, mobile order will save you some time. Plus, my favorite thing about the mobile order is that you can see pictures of everything. If you just look at menus, you don't get to see what the items look like, but the mobile order menus have pictures of every item, which really helps you make your decision. Mistake number 12 is eating regular theme park food. When you come to Disneyland, there is so much good food around the park. I'd hate for you to come and spend your whole trip eating nothing but burgers, pizza, and hot dogs. And Refreshment Corner behind me is one of those places where you can get hot dogs. And I mean, if it's like the only thing that you eat or your kids eat, I understand, get the hot dog, right? You want the least amount of resistance on your trip. No screaming, no crying, no fussing. So get them what they want. I get it. But it is my mission here on the channel to make you aware of all of the delicious, good food that is available at Disneyland. It's probably the primary type of video that we put on the channel. food-related content. And if you must have the best burger or the best hot dog, I've got videos for those as well here on the channel. But I just recently put out a best quick service meal video, and we go around to every single restaurant in the park and I look at the best item on the menu and tell you what it is. So if you want to see that, you can check out that as well. I'm telling you, I've got tons of good content here on the channel. If this is your first video of mine, hit the like and subscribe button. I post loads of Disneyland content to help you plan out your Disneyland vacation and have the best possible visit. And food, like I said, food is like my own personal mission to tell you about everything that there is here. So please, 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 don't eat just a regular burger or a hot dog when you come to Disneyland. Ask down in the comments if you really need some more suggestions. I also think that it is a major mistake to skip Disney California Adventure. Now, it's only 9:50 a.m., so we can't hop over there just yet. Hopping time is 11 a.m. here at Disneyland. So whether you start at DCA or start at Disneyland, if you have a hopper and you're gonna go to the other park, you can't do so until 11 a.m. But I do think it's a mistake to skip DCA. The number of people who tell me that they don't want to go to DCA or they're only interested in Disneyland, I mean, if you only have one day, yes, spend it in Disneyland. Disney California Adventure is still a great park. I don't know why people don't like it. I actually think that the opening, the morning over at Disney California Adventure is so chill compared to Disneyland. I love rope dropping over there, especially if you go back to Pixar Pier. Every time I have suggested that and people have told me they followed our suggestion, they said that they have had the best morning ever just because of, like I said, how low-key and how chill it is over there. Toy Story Midway Mania, Incredicoaster, Radiator Springs Racers, Soarin'. There are Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's tons of really good rides over there. I know that there aren't as many rides and there aren't as many good rides over there as there are at Disneyland, but again, there are other things to do like Turtle Talk with Crush, going to the Animation Academy and learning how to draw your favorite Disney characters. There's Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is really great to go in and see. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on at DCA that is just, like I said, I don't think that you should skip going to Disney California Adventure. It is possibly my favorite of the two parks as a local anyway. Our next mistake is actually visiting Disneyland on major holidays. And I know we've kind of like given caveats for a lot of these mistakes, but here's another caveat. If you can only come to Disneyland on a major holiday because it's all the time that you can get off of work, maybe you come for a 3-day weekend because you're off on Monday, that sort of thing, I understand. Do what works best for you and your schedule. However, today is, what's today? I don't even remember. April 23rd, Tuesday. It's Tuesday, April 23rd, and Disneyland is absolutely fantastic today. The wait times are so low. Spring break is over. Summer is not here yet. It's not Memorial Day. It's not 4th of July. It's not Christmas. It's not Halloween. It's not all of these major holidays that tend to draw a lot of crowds to Disneyland. And today is just a really wonderful and perfect time to be at the park if you want low crowds. And so avoid the major holidays. People ask me all the time, when's the best time to come to Disneyland? There are no off-season times anymore. Tiered prices have seen to that because on these quote-unquote low times of the year, you have tier 0 days, and that's the cheapest that the park ticket's ever going to be. And then during the busiest time, I think they're up to like 180, 190, something like that during those busy times of the year. So people will say, well, if I want to save $80 per person per day, I'm going to come during the off season, and that makes it so that there's a lot more people here in the off season and it's no longer off season. So I can't really give you like the best times of the year to come anymore. Just avoid, like I said, the major holidays. We're going to knock out the next two mistakes in rapid fire. The next one, or the first one of those two, I should say, is not bringing a jacket. I know that Southern California is warm and is known for, beautiful weather. Yes, look at the wonderful, beautiful weather. Huh? I already mentioned the gray sky thing. But it does still get chilly here, and it can be cold in the mornings, it can be cold in the evenings, that sort of thing. It can be a little breezy, colder than you think, even if you're from a colder climate. So just bring a jacket, even if you're coming during like what you would think of the summer season, like June. definitely still bring a jacket. Once you get to September is really like blazing hot. So you don't need jackets at all in September and October. But I said rapid fire, didn't I? Okay, that's it. The next one is not wearing comfortable shoes or not breaking in your shoes before you come. I talked about these shoes in a recent video. These are FITVILLE shoes. The company sent me these shoes for free in order to give them a try and to review them for you guys. And I mentioned them already once. I'll mention them again here. If you want FITVILLE shoes, you can check them out on their website. And there's a discount code for my discount code I'll put down in the description. You can save 28% on your next shoe purchase. These things are super duper comfortable, and I'm not just saying that. I really do enjoy these shoes. They're specifically walking shoes, and they're great for Disneyland. In fact, anywhere Disneyland is concerned, function over fashion always. Just remember that. Our next two mistakes may sound a bit confusing, but the first one is it is a mistake to stay on property. Yes, I have stayed on property, and yes, I still mostly stand by this claim that it's a mistake to do so. The Disneyland Hotel, the Pixar Place Hotel, and the Grand Californian Hotel are the three most expensive hotels pretty much in the entire Disneyland area. And while they do offer some perks, they don't offer a whole lot of perks. You can save half of the cost of your hotel by staying off property, sometimes even a significant amount less than half. And some of them are actually quite a bit closer to Disneyland than the Disneyland Hotel or Pixar Place Hotel. Now, Grand Californian's pretty close, but the Best Western Plus Park Place Inn, right outside the entrance to the Disneyland Resort, is the closest hotel to the front of Disneyland, and I highly recommend it. Now, it is just kind of like a regular motel, if you will, but it has free breakfast, so that's a huge perk. But the best perk is the fact that you can just leave the park when you're tired, and you walk straight to your room with hardly any walking once you leave the park. I mean, it really is that close. It's amazing. I've only stayed there once, but I still remember how easy it was just to plop into bed after a really long day at the park. Also, if you take my tip to go back in the afternoon, it's a really great place to quickly pop out, quickly pop back into the park without a whole lot of downtime. There are other places. The Candy Cane Inn is my personal favorite place to stay. It has a free shuttle, but it's also just a 7-minute walk from the entrance to the park, so it's not too terribly far either way with that either. It has free parking, free breakfast, and overall just a really fantastic hotel. Love staying at the Candy Cane Inn. Now, the next mistake is staying off property. Now, that's why I said causing some confusion. Well, didn't you just say it was a mistake to stay on? Now you're saying it's a mistake to stay off. Which one is it? Well, I guess it just depends on whether it's for you. If money isn't an issue, stay on property because it does have special perks like early entry. Today is a Disneyland early entry day, so hotel guests at those three parks, or those three hotels rather, get to come into Disneyland Park a whole half an hour early and ride some rides before the regular guests have access to it. The same as over at Disney California Adventure on the opposite days of the week. And you can prime yourself, line up for Radiator Springs Racers really, really easily. And you can get on that ride before even the rope drop crowds are released. And so there are some benefits. When we stayed at the Pixar Place Hotel, we were able to watch Fantasmic and the Disneyland fireworks from the comfort of our hotel room with a theme park view. And that was a little extra upgrade that we did whenever Pixar Place first opened. And so again, there are some perks. I mean, that's about it, honestly, though. They don't offer free breakfast. For the cost you pay, they don't offer free breakfast. And so you miss out on some things like that. However, you just decide whether for you, if you want to be in like the Disney bubble, if you will, you want that Disney magic, the Disney pixie dust. Those are things that you should consider. Mistake number 19 is renting a car. Now, we're nearing the end here, I promise. I know you are a trooper if you are still here watching. I like to do this every now and again. Comment down below if you're still watching with the words "still watching." I love to know who is still around because this is a long one, and it's mostly what I call just a face video, a talking head video, where you got some, I change up the backgrounds, but anyhow, the mistake, renting a car. Yes, renting a car is a mistake at Disneyland. Not so much at Disney World. That place is huge. It's sprawling. I mean, they have free bus transportation, so it's still kind of a mistake to rent a car there as well. But there are benefits to renting a car at Walt Disney World. There's really not a whole lot of benefit to it here at Disneyland. Why? Well, because you can take an Uber from the airport to Disneyland, but then all the hotels are mostly within like walking distance, or some of them, like I said, have free shuttles. If you stay on property, of course, you can walk to the two parks. There are two parks are right next to each other. Everything is super easy. It's not like anything big and sprawling. You don't really need the car. You don't need to leave property. Everything that you could possibly need is right here. Renting a car is just a wasted expense. Then you have to park that car. If you are staying at a hotel 10 minutes off, just be mindful that you got to pay to park your car here at the parking garage every day that you come. If you are staying at a hotel that's close by, you have to pay to park your hotel or your car at the hotel every night. Even if you're staying on Disneyland property, they charge you like $40-something a night to park your car. So it's just a lot of wasted expense. And what are you going to use it for? The only thing that you might consider using it for is like going up to Universal, or if you wanted to go to the beach. And if you're going to be here for like 2 weeks and you are going to be going down to San Diego, going to the beach, going to Universal, then you might rent a car. But otherwise, if you're just coming to Disneyland, I promise you, you do not need a car. You don't. You just don't. And our final mistake for the video is not researching rides before you come. The other day, I was in line at Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. We made it all the way up to the elevator shaft, and we're about to get on, and one of the people in line with us says, "Wait, is this Tower of Terror?" And it's like, yeah, it's Tower of Terror. She says, "Oh no, I don't want to ride this. I didn't mean to get in line. I didn't know that's what this was." And it's like, you waited 40 minutes, you looked at the outside of the ride, and you didn't know that this was the Tower of Terror makeover, like, the retheme. And it's just a good idea to research the rides before you come to Disneyland so that you aren't surprised whenever you're in line for something like Tower of Terror. My wife gets it. She hates that ride. So I love it. My son loves it too, my oldest, James. But anyway, the best recommendation that I can give to you is to watch my ride guides right now. I have a Disneyland ride guide that I'll put up here at the top. I'll have a Disney California Adventure ride guide that I put right down here at the bottom that will show you all the rides in both parks. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.